Hi, LBC featured a story today which has generated a lot of debate. It's interesting how these relatively trivial sort of stories can generate a lot of comments. Because in the grand scheme of things, it is quite trivial. It's not like the coronavirus or the war in Syria or, big profound issues. The Democratic primaries, American election, etc. It's a relatively trivial issue. But it's something I think people relate to because it's an everyday sort of situation that people can find themselves in. So basically, the video is about an airline. I'll just get the name of the airline. It's intercontinental flight between New Orleans and Charlotte, North Carolina. And basically, the video shows a woman reclining her seat, and the guy behind her is not happy about this because he's at the sort of back of the aisle, like the back of the plane, and his seat has no reclining option because it's at the kind of wall, presumably where the toilet is. And so he's obviously cramped. Now, this woman took to social media and she said, as she put it, this jackhole was constantly punching my seat. And she has taken issue with the airline because they gave the man a complimentary cocktail and apologized for his experience. And the airline steward or stewardess apparently reprimanded her, and she's not happy about that. She feels that that was unfair. Um, and the video shows this, but I have a few questions. I'm all or a few observations. I'm always a little bit wary when people film something and then they stick it online because it's automatically biased. I mean, the point of filming, I assume it's her that's filming it. It's kind of at an angle. The guy's got like headphones in. He's clearly quite irritated. But when you look at the actual position, he is quite cramped. I don't know how long that flight is, but I assume it's not a very long haul flight. New Orleans to Charlotte, I'd imagine a few hours. Um, so it's generated a lot of debate. I would say about 50-50. Most people are saying that both are at fault. The guy was overreacting and being rude in terms of how he was going about the fact he was being cramped. But others were questioning why she was filming it and whether there was more to it. And I have to say that was my response. I mean, the fact she immediately went to social media, it's biased. I mean, why is she filming it? That could be portrayed. I could see that as an invasion of his privacy. I mean, this phenomenon we have nowadays of people automatically going to social media to try and defame someone else by only showing part of the situation. And that's what it is. It's only part of it. I mean, for all we know, the guy actually asked her politely, look, I don't have much space here. Do you mind not reclining so much? And she may have refused. She may have taken the attitude, oh, well, I paid for my reclining seat, so I have a right to do it. Here's the thing, just because you have a right to do something doesn't mean that you should do it. There's such a thing as empathy. And I think she should have looked at the situation and thought, well, he's got limited space, so maybe I shouldn't recline so far back. Now, it may also be that he has just a bad temper and he didn't go about it the right way. Personally, if it was me, I would have taken my headphones out and just said calmly to her, excuse me, do you mind? I don't have very much space here, politely. Um, so the problem with something like this is we just don't know the whole story. And for those who are siding with the woman, I would say you only know her side of it. You're only hearing her perspective. I mean, maybe the guy would say, well, actually, I did ask her politely and she was ignoring that. So I was getting increasingly frustrated. She says he punched his seat. In the video, that he kind of pushes it, but I didn't see any punch, not the way she's describing. So, yeah, my instinct is there is more to this. And anyway, it got onto the wider issue, which is about reclining seats. I think for a long haul flight, say 5 hours, 6 hours and more, definitely, there is definitely a necessity for reclining seats. You can't realistically expect people to sit upright for, say, up to 12 hours. That's ridiculous and that would cause serious back problems. But I also think planes should be designed so that every passenger has the same amount of space. And, with people pushed against, maybe that needs to be taken into consideration. Maybe seats shouldn't be put up against the toilet wall in that way, because that's not fair on those passengers. They can't recline. Um, but I also think that there is some people out there who kind of have this attitude, oh, I pay for a ticket, I can do whatever I want. And they don't have consideration for other passengers. I'll give an example. I was on a train recently, Lancaster to Dumfries. It was overcrowded because there'd been a delayed train, and passengers were being diverted onto this train. It was packed. We were like sardines, no seating space. Um, my aging father was with me, and there was a woman beside us, like it was kind of in the section between two carriages because there was no seating space. Um, and she wasn't being aggressive, but she was just being very loud, laughing, um, over nothing. Just I don't know whether a friend was telling her jokes or something, but and it wasn't just like, oh, laughing a bit and that's it. No, the whole journey, or a good bit of it, I think she got off at Gretna Green, but that was the bulk of the journey. And it just made for a very uncomfortable journey because I was like 2 feet away and I'm hearing this woman laugh loudly, not just like a little giggle. I'm talking like really, raucous laughing. And it's just very unnerving when you're in a crowded train, when you're tired. It's just so that sort of thing, I think, is pig ignorant, to be quite honest. People who get on public transport and just have no consideration for other people. And another example of that, I was on the Tyne and Wear Metro a while back, and the guy got out his phone with the stupid loud device on it, whereby everyone can hear his conversation. And he's proud of the fact he's chatting away to whoever, and some of his family members were there, and he was smiling about it. The whole flipping carriage could hear his conversation. And again, he wasn't being aggressive, but it's just I consider that antisocial, very antisocial. Well, I mean, there just seems to be people out there who think that because they've paid for a ticket, they can do whatever they want. My logic would be other people have paid for their tickets as well, and you've no right to impose on others' comfort on a journey. I mean, okay, some people might overreact. It could be that the guy in this situation was overreacting a little bit. But I am suspicious. I think that we're only hearing half the story here. And I would urge people not to judge these situations without knowing the full picture. Jump into conclusions like, oh, the guy's an asshole or whatever. We don't know that. Maybe she is the asshole. Maybe she is the one that's being unreasonable by reclining her seat when she can, common sense would show that he's got no space. So let me know your thoughts. Have you ever been in an uncomfortable situation with a fellow passenger? You get this. I mean, the thing about a plane, of course, is there's nowhere to escape. It's perhaps the worst mode of transport in that sense because you can't. On a train, you could at least maybe go to another carriage temporarily or something. On a plane, there really is nowhere to go. I just think that people need to be more considerate, and it comes down to just mutual respect. I mean, maybe the guy was too hot-headed. Maybe he should have asked more politely. But I also think she was being selfish by not considering that he had limited space. And why should he have an uncomfortable journey just because she wants to recline her seat? I mean, if she had back problems or something, she could have explained that to him. I just think that I'm suspicious of videos that only show part of the story. Let me know your thoughts.